Hi, you're watching Rachael Dirr's Daily Deets. Here are today's top stories. In foreign news, France is reporting Macron mania as over €350,000 worth of memorabilia featuring images and quotes of French President Emmanuel Macron were sold over the weekend. Meanwhile, in America, this year's annual version of Trump's lingerie calendar has still yet to sell a single copy. Moggy, a British cat, was found by her owner early Monday morning cuddled up in her bed with a bag full of heroin and crack cocaine. Moggy's owner said that the cat must have found the bag of drugs while out on her Sunday night stroll. To which Moggy replied, "Right, of course, because I'm definitely not a drug-dealing cat running one of the most successful and lucrative drug-dealing monopolies in the neighborhood. I totally haven't slowly gotten all the other neighborhood cats hooked on drugs." Meow. But seriously though, this takes the saying, "Look what the cat dragged in," to a whole new level. It's reported that Hong Kong airline carrier Cathay Pacific spelled their own name incorrectly on the side of their plane, reading Cathay Pacific. Although it seems like a pretty big deal to have a letter go missing from the side of a plane, they're still doing a whole lot better than Malaysian Airlines, who managed to have a whole plane go missing from the sky. A news report suggests that sarcastic people die at a younger age than their non-sarcastic counterparts, which is just really fan-freaking-tastic news, and I'm not being sarcastic at all. However, the article failed to conclude that sarcastic people are dying prematurely due to natural causes. Speaking of death, according to an article published in Psychology Today, scientists have found that you can actually die of boredom. The study found that prolonged periods of boredom can actually result in a loss of about 2.5 years from a person's lifespan. So, in light of that news, I will be suing my computer fluency professor for the years shaved off my life from having to sit in a room for 3 hours a week just so he could show me how to open an Excel file. Toronto is reporting a surge in Uber raccoons, which, despite what you may be thinking, aren't raccoons that will pick you up when you need a ride home from the bar. These hyper-intelligent raccoons are larger than normal raccoons and have adapted the ability to use their thumbs to open raccoon-proof trash cans. I'm calling it now. In 3 years, those raccoons will either be running the world or will have annihilated us with their opposable thumbed hands. A man was taken into custody at Los Angeles International Airport after jumping a fence and running into the middle of a runway to do push-ups. But, to be fair, he got a sick Instagram Live video. A woman who had her foot amputated due to cancer takes the skeletal remains of her foot with her on adventures and posts about them on her own dedicated Instagram titled "One Foot Wonder." The support on Instagram for her posts and humorous take on life have been overwhelming. In fact, she inspired a group of men who have beaten testicular cancer to do the same thing, but they were promptly banned from Instagram. A burglar broke into a home and terrorized its resident armed with a potato. He reportedly told officers he used the potato because he thought it would help him increase his punching power. The victim had no idea what was going on. All of a sudden, a potato was mashed into her face. Prosecutors are arguing that the crime of baking and entering was premeditated. In a shocking twist of events, a novelist who wrote an essay titled "How to Murder Your Husband" was charged with murdering her husband. Authorities began to suspect the woman when she wrote an essay titled "How to Murder Your Husband." The essay, which was written for WikiHow, was a collaborative effort between the novelist and O.J. Simpson. A Georgia school has reportedly begun asking parents for permission to paddle their children as a form of disciplinary action. Even more shocking, the school was Georgia Tech. This change in the school's discipline policy is due to the fact that the previous punishment of forcing students to watch their school's football games was deemed cruel and unusual. The liquor license of an axe-throwing bar in Michigan was suspended after the Michigan Liquor Control Panel stated that the bar had been too lax about safety. Well, duh! In what world would drunk people throwing axes be safe? That sounds more like a population control method than a fun recreational activity. I mean, have you ever even seen a drunk person? They can't walk in a straight line, yet you're going to trust them with an axe? Giving drunk people axes and telling them to be safe is like giving raccoons opposable thumbs and asking them not to kill us.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
This has been Rachael Dirr's Daily Deets. Thanks for watching.